I'd like to say that today is officially Chip's birthday, and as a birthday celebration, I thought why not gift everyone a bonus video. Normally we run 2 episodes per week, so I thought because it's the birthday, or because it's my birthday, let's gift you guys with a full feature on Puta GP. Puta GP is actually my most complete car in my collection, and when we get into the details, I'll take you guys through it and show you exactly how intense of a show car this is.
There is life on other planets.
Have an ocean, I wouldn't have an ocean.
You haven't thought about this at all?
Oh, I've thought about it, but no, I wouldn't think there would be.
I think it would be a good thing for the what's life.
I suppose competition's pretty good at any time, isn't it?
Like I've mentioned before, there's less than 15 E30 wagons that we know of in the country. I'm fortunate enough to own one. So Puta, before Puta became Puta, Puta started out her life as a red E30 wagon.
Do you indeed think that there is life on other planets? Do you think there's life on other planets?
But before we get into my history with Puta, it being Chip's birthday today, I thought it'll be lekker to give you guys a gift for my birthday. But in order to find out whether you want a gift, you gotta stay tuned till the end of this episode to see if you are one of 4 lucky people to win free gifts on Chip's birthday. So guys, let me take you back to one of my dream cars. So like I've mentioned before, there's less than 15 E30 wagons that we know of in the country. I'm fortunate enough to own one. And I know about 4 people that own the others, and I've seen a few of them around the country. So as a kid growing up, my ultimate dream was to own a set of E30s. So when I say a set, my ultimate set is the E30 Pillarless, which is Celeb, the 325 IS, which is Coco and the Barnfind IS, and obviously Puta, which is the E30 station wagon. So far to my knowledge, and it's an honor for me to be saying this, I only know of one other person that owns a set, meaning the IS, the Pillarless, and the wagon. I could be wrong, but a good buddy of mine's in Cape Town actually also owns a set like this. So we're very fortunate. But let me take you guys back to this particular car. So Puta, before Puta became Puta, Puta started out her life as a red E30 wagon. And throughout Puta's life, Puta had a color change. Now this particular car, I had the opportunity to buy it 3 or 4 times before, and every time for some reason, I went to go and see the car. I remember the one time I went to go and see the car was in Nigel, and it had a set of River touring wheels on. It was navy blue, but it was dilapidated and it wasn't in a good condition. And when I looked at the car at the time, if I'm not mistaken, the owner or the dealership wanted around 50 grand for the car, which was way back. That was a lot of money. And I looked at the car, I thought to myself, 50 grand is a lot at the time. Number 2 is the car needed a lot of work. Where would I find the parts? I've never worked on an E30 station wagon before. I've never done restoration on that extent before. So I thought to myself, okay, I can't afford to do it. If I buy the car, it's going to be a problem. So I walked away. Then the car popped up again for sale. And the car popped up in Pretoria for sale. And I was going to go through to go and see the car. And then a buddy of mine phoned me to say that he's on his way to buy the car. And am I really serious about the car? So I told him, yeah, I am, but I can't get out to the car now. So buy the car and I will buy the car from you with a profit. Cool, we agreed on it because the buddy that buys, he buys and sells. So anyway, he bought the car, took it back to his place, and I remember it was the fasting month at the time, so it was very difficult for me to go out because of time being short during the day. So anyway, we kept in contact over the phone, and I told him, look, I'll come and see you, I want the car. He's like, okay, no stress. The time I phoned him to say I'm coming to fetch the car, he tells me that he sold the car, someone gave him a higher offer. So I was bummed out, but that's the car scene. People do that on numerous occasions. But it was one of those things, and this particular car was not meant for me. Anyway, fast forward a few months later, I see someone put the car up on their Facebook, E30 station wagon for sale. So I'm like, okay, cool, it can't be coincidence because this is now the third time. So I messaged the Oak, and the Oak gives me his number. I end up phoning him, we end up chatting, and you can imagine that when an E30 station wagon pops up for sale, there's 100 people that wanting to buy it. But fortunately, the gentleman knew who I am, and the gentleman was happy to sell the car to me purely because of who was buying the car. So anyway, I thought to myself, when he threw the number was about 70, 80,000 more than what I could have bought the car for. I thought to myself, you know what, it's the third time the same car is popping up. I can't let this car slip. So I paid full price for the car. Puta was mine. That was in 2018, guys. So anyway, 2018, got Puta, drove it around for like a month or two, and then decided that a bagged E30 station wagon has never been done in Africa before. I want to be the first. So I pulled the car into the shop, and I got my guys to redo the interior, and I got my staff to bag the car. At the time, we did the interior in like a lemonish, yellowish leather with blue stitching, which was fine at the time because you guys know I have a colorful personality. So obviously I want to do stuff that's going to pop. And then we decided to bag the car. It had a standard set of 17-inch Rezex wraps, which was fine at the time. Fast forward, I took the car to a few shows. The car was a hit, but it didn't have that wow factor. And deep down inside, I always knew I wanted a white station wagon. So nonetheless, fast forward a few years, and I decided to repaint the car. So before before Chicanos started doing painting, I used to outsource my paint work, and I'll get into that in a future episode. I always got messed around. I lost a lot of money because not everyone has the same passion and attention to detail when working on the old cars. So to find a panel beater or a spray painter that's going to take extra care or take more time to prepare the car because the metal is different on this car as compared to the newer cars was very difficult because most businesses focus on profitability. So the quicker the car comes in and goes out, the more money you make. So that meant that the car didn't get or didn't come out according to my satisfactory standard. So anyway, car was painted, decided to redo the interior. I played around with the wheels, I corrected the paint job, and Puta is what it is today because of that decision from changing from blue to white. So I finally got my dream E30 wagon in the spec that I wanted. The only thing that I'm short on Puta, and I'd love to hear your comments, is sunroof. Now the problem we set to it is when we do sunroof conversions, there's a donor car. In South Africa, there's no donor car for an E30 station wagon. So I can put an aftermarket sunroof, but the problem with the aftermarket sunroof is it sits too back on the roof, which looks a bit odd. My other option is, and you guys must tell me if you think I must go this route, and remember before you answer, remember what type of a person I am when I build my own cars. I'm not an OEM person because I love OEM, but for me it's about adding my flavor and my personality on the car. So I'm considering a ragtop roof on Puta. What do you guys think? Do you guys think I should go ragtop roof? I do understand that it's a very rare car. I do understand that I will be putting a ragtop roof on an E30 station wagon. But if it's done, how insane will it look? And also remember the car is bagged. So when the rag top is open, the car is low, you're going to be able to see the interior, and Puta's got a very funky interior. So what do you guys think? I'd love to hear your comments and suggestions. So let me know down below in the comments. So I always get asked the question, where does, or how do I come up with the names for my cars? Because all my cars have names. I always say that it's my different, or I'm schizo, and I have a lot of different personalities. So Puta, when the car was done, and I'll take you guys through the interior to show you exactly how I themed the car. For me, Puta is kind of that car that pulls up at the show, and even the guys or the couples that are there, the husband will always look at Puta because Puta stands out, and the wife will also look at Puta because the husband is looking at Puta. So that's in my mind the effect that Puta has, and so far the feedback that I've gotten from going to car shows with Puta is that Puta is always a hit. So that's more or less how I came out with the name, because even though when you are with your partner, Puta will let you leave your partner. I know this is a kiddie show, so forgive me for saying this. So all you kids, forget what I said. This is a family show, so that's how I came up with the name, guys. Okay, guys, so let me show you guys what happens to Puta every time Puta airs out. So this is your normal E30 lip with the lip extender, or the Alpina lip and the lip extender. So because Puta is so low, majority of times when I air out the car, the lip cracks. So every time you see Puta, she'll probably have a cracked lip, but I call it battle scars, and that's what Putas have every time they go out into the streets. Okay, so you'll notice as well, I mentioned it before, a lot of the E30s that we bag are generally lower than the industry standard. There is a trick that we do to get our E30s lower, and part of Puta's lip braking is that combo. So we've bagged, if I'm not mistaken, we've bagged over 25, 30 E30s, currently bagging a few more. So we love bagging E30s. In fact, we love E30s. You guys know I'm an E30 man. So that is also part and parcel, one of the reasons as to why the lip cracks is because the car lays frame, some knocks on the ground, which is not a good thing, but that's the price you pay for style. So in the front, Puta is pretty standard except for the lip. However, I want to share something with you guys. Puta never started her life out as a 325. Puta was originally a 318, and I was lucky enough that whoever owned the car converted the car to a 325, the M20 motor, which was a big saving for me. So I was happy. In terms of mechanical wise, when I take you guys through to the engine bay, I'll show you a bit of what we did. But like I said, the front is quite standard. It's got the aftermarket smiley headlights, new grills. I try to keep it clean because the nice thing is, and you'll notice, when you do a new paint job on the car, when you change stuff like the indicators, you put a new set of fogs, bumper ducts, oil cooler cover, headlights, on a white car, the car just looks newer. So that is kind of the theme I followed with this car. I initially had amber indicators, but I like the clear on the white. For some reason, I think it looks nice, it looks insane. But then again, on Chulo, I got a different style, you know. So it just depends. I think it ties in with the car's personality just to show that the car is not standard. Which do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer the smoked on white? Do you prefer the crystal on white? Or do you prefer the amber on white? What's your flavor? I don't hate. I love all of it. And it's all about making the car according to what you like. Remember, that's the most important. Okay, now we come to another important part, which is the shoes. So this is not, so in Puta's life, since I've owned Puta since 2018, this is the third wheel change. And it's possibly not going to stay on Puta because I have an idea for Puta. But the first wheel was the Rizex. The second wheel was my ultimate wheel for this car, which was the River touring wheels. It's a split wheel, it's a work River wheel. So those wheels I always wanted because it's a E30 Touring. So to have a rival touring, the touring with the touring made sense. So I had the wheels put on, but I had it refurbished. And not everyone can do split wheels. So the guy that refurbished the wheel totally stuffed the wheel up, so much so that the wheel had to be cut and rebuilt. And for me, if something gives me stress, I'll try my best to fix it. Eventually, I'll get tired of it, and I thought to myself, okay, let me change the wheel. So that, personally, I love that look on Puta more than this wheel. However, this is a totally different look. So the wheel in question is one that comes off a 750 IL, the old school 7 Series. This wheel was initially built for my BMW E3 Jelly Bean, as can be seen in the pics. And Jelly Bean was a type of car that I never got around to finishing. In fact, the car's been standing also since 2018, 2019. I haven't completed the car. So I thought to myself, look, let me sell the rival wheels and let me take Jelly Bean's wheel and try it on here. So what I did is, I mentioned on previous episodes that Puta or normal E30s are 4100. This wheel is a BMW wheel, which is a 5120. So how do I get the wheel to fit on here without changing the suspension? So one of the formulas when we do put wheels like this, because it's got a closed nut cap, you can change the PCD to 4100 depending on how the wheel configuration is or the setup is. Or alternatively, you can drill the car to 5100 and you drill your wheel to 5100 and it will work like a bomb. So I chose to go with the 5100 route. So Puta's hubs is re-drilled completely around to 5100 and the wheel is re-drilled to 5100 as well. The spec that I went with on this wheel, I made the fronts 8.5J and I made the rears 9J, and the wheel was stepped from 15 to 17 with polished lips and white faces. I like the white on white. Initially this wheel was white on Jelly Bean, but I love a white on white on certain cars. I feel the white with the polished lip really looks good. I don't know what you guys think. This is a nice wheel. However, every time I walk past Puta and I walk past Chulo, I think to myself that Chulo's wheel will look sick on Puta. So I'm probably going to take Chulo's wheel, which is the M Coupe wheel, and I'm going to put it on here. But I'm still deciding how I would do the configuration, because Chulo is 5120 suspension, Puta is 4100, 5100. That's an open nut. So if I had to change the wheel from 5120 to 5100, it would have an egg shape designed by the studs. And I'm not a fan because it will affect the value of the wheel. So I'm possibly going to be converting Puta to 5120. So I have a stash of rear 3 to 5 IS suspension. I just need to source the front. Or alternatively, I also have a set of E36 front suspension. So I might put E36 front suspension on the front. But there's a little trick to making it work. When we actually do the conversion, I'm going to take you guys through it. So for all of you guys that want to change from 4-hole to 5-hole, that's a little bit of a guideline as to how you can do it. There is a trick or two to get it to work, but I'll cover that in an up and coming episode. So definitely a wheel change for Puta. I like this wheel, but I don't think the wheel, or I think we can do better. I don't know what you guys feel. A lot of you guys said previously I must leave the wheel, but you know how I am. I've got an itch, and when you have that itch, you have to scratch it. So I'll only be able to know once we scratch that itch, and hopefully you guys will understand why I needed to scratch it. So that's definitely a change I am going to do with Puta. So 2 changes, ragtop sunroof, I'm on the fence, or possibly a wheel change and a 5-hole suspension conversion, and then I'm 100% happy with Puta. But then again, you guys know it's going to take me a while to do it, because as you know, customers' cars take priority. This is my personal car, so this will have to wait up until we have some time. So that's the wheel bases covered. So to show you guys how new and how often Puta gets driven, or any of my cars get driven, these tires were bought over 3 years ago. It's still got those things sticking out of it to show the tires are new. So Puta doesn't get driven. I probably drove the car about 4 or 5 times since owning it. In fact, most of the driving has been onto a truck, off a truck, and to a car show. So that's more or less where I am with driving the car. The tire specs is as follows. The front's got 185, 35, 17-inch tires in the front, and 195, 40, 17 in the rear. I wanted the stretch look, I wanted the fitment look. So the wheel, if I have to do alignment, which I haven't done since I've bagged the car, the fender will fit in between the wheel and the tire, which is what we call fitment. So when I do get time to drive Puta, I will go do the alignment so we can get the fitment proper. But for now, it's okay standing in the showroom. I want to take you guys to the next part, which I mentioned earlier. Puta is my most complete show car, and I'll tell you why I'm saying it's a show car. Let me show you guys the engine bay. Okay, now I've been building cars for many years. I'm 38 today. Started building my first car at the age of 16, so you guys can do the maths. But throughout me attending shows and learning, there's a formula that should be followed when your car goes for a car show, which is not followed, but I don't want to get into that now because we're not about all that drama. But the right way to do it, and the way it's done overseas, is your car gets scored according to certain categories, and you score points in certain categories. So for example, your wheel, your suspension, your fitment, your tuck, the cleanliness of your paint, any mods done on your body, your interior, your sound, creativity, your engine bay cleanliness. So those are all part and parcel of how you score points at the car show. So for example, whenever I build my cars, I keep that in mind. So every aspect of the car has got to be done. So for example, Puta's got an Alpine white paint job. Puta's also got a little bit of the front spoiler. Puta's got a custom wheel. We're going for fitment. So that is how I built the car. But out of all my cars, this and Top G, which is the R8, has the best engine bay. So what we did is we painted and color-coded the engine bay components to the interior color. So much so that we actually took a sample of the leather and asked the paint shop to mix the paint according to the color of the leather. So you'll see a lot of the bits and pieces are painted, and that is to give the engine bay show. I've also changed the water bottles. I've done a custom battery cover. Now you guys know that a 318, 320, the battery sits in the front. Even a 323, the battery sits in the front. Now on the E30 station wagons, the battery sits in the front as well. So even though this is a 318, the battery still sits in the front. So in order to give the battery a little bit of show, we did a diamond stitch battery cover in order to give the battery show, because your battery is technically the ugliest thing in your engine bay. You don't get color-coded batteries. If you got a color-coded battery like Celeb, I would have made sure the battery is in front. If I got a salmon battery, trust me, I would have made the battery show. But you get normal batteries, which is ugly. So in order to enhance the look of the engine bay, that is why we put the cover. So it looks like an old school vanity case. That was the whole idea behind it. There is one thing that I'd love to do on Puta, and that is to replace the bonnet shock so I can stop holding the bonnet up while we're busy shooting this. However, I'd love to do a wire tuck on Puta. It's a lot of work, but I love a wire tuck. I think the fact that you can see wires is not a good thing. It must be hidden. So that is possibly something I would also do in future. Now you guys must be thinking that I'm crazy, because when you look at Puta, you see Puta as a complete car. I don't need to do anything. But as a car builder, there's always something you can do on your car to just take it to the next level. And I feel it's important to have that attitude, because at the end of the day, guys, the sky is the limit. And you need to challenge yourself in your build And every car that you build or every car that you own, if you're a passionate car guy and you want to compete against yourself, you got to outdo yourself every time and think to yourself, how else can I make my car nicer? What else can I do different that will please me? And I mentioned you competing with yourself. I'm competing with myself because I want to make Puta better. I know I can make Puta better. And that's ultimately what I'd like to do. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like the engine bay? It's clean. It's the most cleanest engine bay. It's the most done up engine bay out of all my cars that I own. It's even got the nice chrome strut bar. So I love that. So I mentioned earlier in the video that Puta is now a M20. Puta is a stock standard 2.5 with a set of branches and exhaust. However, the branches and exhaust, that is something I'm going to change also. So there's a lot of changes coming in future for Puta. It sounds nice. It sounds like a BMW, but it doesn't sound like an E30. And there's only one place that I prefer doing my exhaust because they know exactly how to get an E30 to tone like an E30. So that's also coming up in the future plans. But I want to show you guys something interesting that I don't think you know. So if you are buying a 325 and you want to know what type of cylinder head the car has, right? If you look at your bogey cord holder and your bogey cord between these two, you'll see that there's like a round coin type of a thingy there. We'll just call it a coin thingy. I don't know what to call this. But on this here, it says 2.5. So this tells me that there's a 2.5 cylinder head on this car. Now some cars came where it will say 2.5 and then stroke 2.7, meaning it's got a 2.7 cylinder head. So if you are buying an E30, a 325, and you want to confirm, one of the ways to confirm if it does have a 2.5 cylinder head is by this little section here. And if you're buying an IS will always have 2.5 stroke 2.7. So that's something that I want you guys to go and check. If you do own an E30, please go check it. I promise you, learning on these cars is amazing. In fact, you can even go to all your friends after you learn this and say, brah, come and check your cylinder head. I want to see if your cylinder head is a 2.5 or a 2.7. So that's just a bit of knowledge from my side. I hope it helps you guys, especially when you guys are buying cars or when you're buying parts or motors. It's very important to have this knowledge. Guys, now we come to my favorite part of Puta, which is the interior. So I mentioned Puta is my most complete show car. This is possibly one of the most detailed interiors that we've ever done in a car. I've replicated it before for certain clients, but the idea started here. So the interior itself, like I mentioned before, was the very interesting yellow or lime color when the car was blue. However, I wanted the interior color to tie in with the white, and I love doing bright colors on a white car because I think it pops. You'll notice all the new manufacturers like Bentley, Mercedes-Benz, if you follow the Oaks in Dubai, including McLaren, they're all playing with colors now. They're doing lime green, they're doing purple, they're doing orange. So that is the trend now. Back in the day, it was normal. You go with a black roof liner, a black carpet, and you go with black seats. Or if you want to experiment, then you go with the red. But now the game has changed, and you play with colors. So I'm a color person. So the color in question is not pink, in case you're wondering. It's actually a salmon color. So I thought it'll tie in nice with Puta's whole theme and personality. So we went with a diamond stitched salmon interior. Initially it had the normal seats. As time went on, I got myself a set of E30 Sport seats, and I fitted the E30 Sport seats in and we recovered them, which I think looks amazing in any E30. But I want to show you guys how intense or how detailed this interior is. So we do hand stitching on show cars. So hand stitching is where you actually take a needle and you hand stitch the seams on the side. So if you look on the side of Puta seats, you'll see there's hand stitching. If you look at the handbrake, you'll see there's hand stitching. If you look at the gear knob, you'll see there's hand stitching. If you look at the gear boot, there's hand stitching. So the traditional way is to leave your center console black. I wanted to be different. So I decided, or asked my guys, or we decided to recover the cubby, the under dash cover, the center console, the handbrake console in a nice suede. But the suede doesn't stop there. If you guys look up at the roof liner, we went with the full suede salmon roof liner to tie in with the salmon seats. I want to show you guys some more details which I think is cool. We even went as far as hand stitching the seat belt stalks for the front and the back. Now you guys notice when I do show cars or when I do custom interiors, the roof liner must speak to the rest of the interior. So instead of covering the back of the seats in the normal leather, we recovered it in suede, the salmon suede. Now the carpet, obviously it's difficult to get a salmon carpet. So to hide the dirt, we went with a little bit of a charcoal carpet with some white in it. But I want to show you guys something cool that ties in with the Puta team that not a lot of people see. So we all know that Putas like money. So this is a custom set of floor mats. Please forgive it, it's in this car for quite a long time, so we need to redo it. But we actually stitched 5 Rand coins in the corner of each car mat. So technically, if you go to the car wash and they steal your car mats, you've just lost $20 per car mat. So that's the whole idea, to tie in with the team of Puta, just to make it a little bit different. The car does have an MTEC 1 steering wheel. We also installed the air gauge in the right-hand side dashboard vent. And when it comes to the sound in the car, you guys know I'm an Alpine man. So I've got Alpine Bluetooth car radio, 5 1/4 splits with the tweeters molded in here. I've got 2 Alpine amplifiers, a monoblock and a 4-channel, and I'm running 2 Alpine 12s. Now I want to take you guys to the next fun and exciting part, which is the rear of the car, which is where everything happens, your air install and your sound install. So follow me. So I want to take you guys through the boot install. If you have a look, you'll see that we tied the boot install with the hand stitching, as you can see on the side panels, as well with the diamond stitching on the seats. The air setup is a very old school Tabao wireless air ride kit. Very nice kit, very affordable. I've got it on all my cars. And again, I love airlift. I love AccuAir. But the problem that we face is that because we have such a weak rand, when the airlift components are brought into the country, when you add the numbers up, it doesn't make sense to go and spend 100K to bag one car. For the price of 100K, you can bag 4 cars. You understand? So that's the logic I apply. So for the price, it's a very good kit. So that's majority of the kit that I do run on my cars. And also my cars are show cars, so it's not, I hardly drive them, it's just for me to go to a show, air the car out, or go for a music video, air the car out. So I hardly drive them, but I did do a different setup on the R8. When we do get into that video, I'll tell you guys a bit more of what I did. So the whole idea between the install was to tie in with the exterior of the car. So for example, the hardline setup is done in white. The tank is painted in white. The inserts on the boot install is done in white. The cotton is done in white. So your color coordination outside must tie in inside, and also to your sound install. Now, I was playing with the idea of painting the Alpine grills white and adding a little bit of salmon, but I thought it'll be lacquer to leave it because there is still a lot of black on the car. So hopefully it ties in well, hopefully you like it. Believe it or not, I do want to change this boot install. Eventually when I get time to redo the car, which is going to be last on the list because this car is good as is, I will redo the boot install, but for now it's fine. The sound system plays nice. It's not a banging sound system for SPL. It's just when you go to a show, you open your boot up and you play your sound and you attract attention. It's not to make people go insane or crazy, it's just to complete the car. So that's how I decided to go with the boot install. Now you'll notice something else as well. I got a neat little cutout in the corner which says I love my E30, and it's got a cutout of the station wagon. I love putting that. It's one of our signature moves. I hope you guys like it. So that's Puta's sound install and air install. Do you guys think that I should have changed it? Do you guys think that maybe there's a better idea? Do you think maybe I should have gone with a different color or maybe a different sound setup? Initially, when I started off my career in cars, I did sound, and I used to build SPL cars. I won a lot of trophies with it. And then I kind of died down or died out of it because I was more into now the looks and pumping the car up, etc. So I was playing with the idea of maybe in future upgrading the sound, maybe putting 4 10-inch subwoofers. But we'll see. That's all in future pens. For now, I think I'm happy with Puta. I love Puta. It is one of my favorite cars in my collection. It's not for sale, even though I get people always asking me, will I sell Puta, will I sell Puta? Because if I do sell Puta, how do I replace a car like this? To own a set, which is the pillarless, the IS, and the wagon is the ultimate. We just short the 333, but I'm happy with where the car is for now. Okay guys, we come to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got a lekker understanding of how I build cars, and also what my idea and understanding is of a show car. I've been a judge at many shows, so that's how I judge cars more or less, and that's how I build cars as well. And I draw a lot of influence from the overseas guys, especially the UK guys. The American guys, they another level as well. But again, don't be shy to look outside of South Africa. If you guys go and follow people overseas, you'll see the trends. They are way ahead of us, but that doesn't mean that we don't build good cars. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I love interacting with you guys. A special shout out to the following peeps. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for commenting and interacting with us. We love you guys. Now we come to the final part, which is the birthday giveaway. So initially we were going to give away 1 Chicanos clothing hamper. We have decided, because it's Chip's birthday, let's give away another 3 clothing hampers. So are you guys ready for this? Are you ready? Do you think you won? Do you think you did enough to win? Did you get enough family members to subscribe and make this channel blow up? If yes, then you are one of the 4 lucky winners. Congratulations to the following peeps. You guys have won yourself an awesome Chicanos clothing hamper. You guys are awesome. Congratulations. And we will be having more giveaways soon. Trust me, you guys are going to go insane, because at the end of the day, this channel is about us growing the car scene and also us thanking you guys. You guys could have chosen to watch any other channel, but you guys subscribe to us and you guys are following us, so we have to give back to you guys. So thank you so much. Please contact our officers. You can pop them an email or you can send a WhatsApp. Please send us your sizes, because we're going to be making you your clothing pack and your hamper and your address, so we can send it out to you guys. Till next time, remember, keep it real. It is your car. You can do whatever you want. And thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'll see you guys soon.